Here is where I started my journey. You can see a little trail map at the parking area. I'll be parking myself tonight in the Climax Forest, somewhere around that number 29, in that general area. Off way over there, as far as the eye can see, there's a second forest line, and that's where I'll be. Look at this thick, dense grove of spruces. These look like Norway spruce, probably planted here by some farmer as a windbreak or something. If I ever were trapped out here and had to use myself with a bivy sack to stay warm, I'd probably hide in here where the wind wouldn't get me and very little snow would fall down. Looks fun, huh? Here's the lean-to I'm using as base camp. See, I got some of my stuff laid out here. Brought Plato's Republic and my journal in case I get bored with hiking. And I'm actually gonna sleep out here. In this little survival shelter that I built. Looks cozy, huh? Sure, but actually because it's small and more enclosed than the lean-to, it should provide a warmer shelter than the alternative. Well, here I am at Hoxie Gorge. I've been tracking some form of little creature for a little while now, and I can't be sure because this crafty little bugger has double tracked himself and zigzagged and lost himself through the stream a few times, but he might be up there in that little hole. That's my best guess so far. Well, there's one more set of tracks I'm going to follow just to be sure. Hey, Christophe here again, still tracking that little bugger. It's hard to see. There's a little spot of blood there from whatever it was this little guy killed. And here I've tracked him to the second tree. So I don't know if he's just walking around checking out his different hiding spots and carrying forward, or it's all one big roost. We'll find out. Well, I don't know. Can't believe this clever animal, whatever it is, thinking either a raccoon or a possum or a weasel of some sort. Looks like it came down and see this X, so it went one way and then came back and went the other way, so you couldn't track it as easily by scent. Tricky little guy. We finally track our prey's tracks to its end point. This tree here, it's got a lot of heart rot. Looks like it got struck by lightning not too long ago. Yep, just in time to see the tracks turn around and go the other way. So, guess I lose this round. That'll turn out to be quite the pretty day next to this quiet, gently flowing little brook with the sun poking through the clouds, through the hemlock boughs. Great day to spend some time alone and contemplate the meaning of life in the wilderness. So far today, since I've been active, even though it's been between 30 and 40 all day, what I've worn is just 3 layers. I've got my Gore-Tex jacket and a fleece vest underneath that, and then polypropylene long johns. And so I've stayed amazingly well with just that, and a pair of hiking pants and polypropylene long johns underneath that too, and a pair of boots. Yeah, I guess you'd be amazed what keeping an active pace will do for you even when it's 30 degrees out. You can see the sun starting to get behind some clouds. I can feel the temperature drop a few degrees as that happens. And now I'm going for a walk and going past all these funny, twisted, stubby looking little crabapple trees. Makes for interesting walking, but I'd hate to be in here in the dark. I don't remember those trucks being there when I hiked in. They must have snuck up on me when I was out tracking that animal. Even though I don't fear much in life, it always does give you a peculiar feeling when you're by yourself and, you know, all of a sudden people sneak up on you. Well, I've run into one small problem. I got my stove set up over here, and this is my fuel bottle, but the pump isn't working. So it needs some oil, which I don't have. One time I improvised lotion, which I don't have. So I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. Only thing I can think of now is just to spit on it and see what happens. Well, thankfully it worked. And I've got my stove set up here, and you can see here my pot set. I've got a nice conduct. So the sun is gone and it got colder, so I had a little change of costume. I threw on a pair of fleece pants and Gore-Tex pants, my nice warm booties, and then an extra fleece layer. Then I'm getting ready to eat now. One of the things about this is you need a lot of calories, so it's okay to eat big gobs of butter in your ramen noodles. So I'm just going to try to eat lots of warm food frequently, keep some hot fluids in my body. So it's starting to get colder. Now the sun is set to the west, and I have to take the batteries out of the camera and put them in my mouth until they get warm enough where they'll actually work. I was just taking my sleeping bag out and putting it into my shelter and noticed the outside of it had gotten wet. Yeah, it's one of those things when you see that, it's like the worst thing that you ever want to see is your sleeping bag being wet, because wet usually means cold. So after looking at it for a second, I figured it wasn't too wet, and it's a synthetic bag too, so we should be fine. But I don't know, guess we'll find out later. Probably can't see much, but thought it might be interesting to look at the inside of a shelter.